All right, shalom. Shalom. First off, I want to start up by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Kakadash. That's all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrews Yahweh by Hashem in the name, and Yahushai be the name of the only begotten Son. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Preaching this word in truth and sincerity on the brother Tazabah, the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And I'm going to start off with this copyright disclaimer. I'm going to be sharing a couple videos under Title 17, USC Section 107. An allowance is made for fair use for the purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So let's get into this. I got a couple videos. Of course, I didn't need that fair use for this one, but I'm be playing a video by Myron Gaines or whatever this nigga's name is from Fashion Fit. And the world is coming to the realization that Esau is the problem. It's coming to the realization that Esau is the problem. It's catching up to where the Israelites have been. The Hebrew Israelites have been this whole time, who are the true children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And I want to tie this in with scripture. So let's play this, and Lord will it all be edifying.
And now that Tehran sent a message back, they're screaming for help like a child who lit the fire and got burned by the flame. Oh, now it's a tragedy. Now you remember what a hospital is. You bombed over 200 hospitals in Gaza. You hit a children's hospital in Iran. You blew up ambulances, dialysis centers, maternity wards. And now you want sympathy? Let me say this loud so the world hears. You didn't just bomb buildings. You didn't just kill civilians. You targeted the ones who were trying to save them. You murdered medics, unarmed, brave, rushing to save a life. And you killed them in cold blood. Then you buried them in their vehicles, like criminals hiding a murder weapon. You didn't just kill people, you erased the proof. You buried mercy under the rubble, and now you ask for compassion. Here's the part that burns deeper. The world has been watching a live stream genocide for 2 years, on every screen, in every language, from every angle. And now, after 2 years of watching you bomb children with American missiles, you expect the people to feel something for you. You got some nerve. You want tears. Tell that to the mothers digging their babies out with bare hands. Tell that to cancer patients gasping for oxygen as the hospital walls collapsed around them. You want sympathy. You had 2 years of global silence, and that still wasn't enough for your bloodlust. You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. The world was hoodwinked into believing you were victims while you turned cities into cemeteries. You don't get to cry now. Not after you made mourning a crime in Gaza. You don't get to scream now. Not after you silenced every voice that dared to say enough. You bombed hope. You buried mercy. You murdered truth. And now you want the people's pity. We don't mourn for war criminals. We don't cry for colonizers. We cry for the silence, for the crushed, for the medics you left in the dirt. But something's changed. The world sees you now. The veil is off. The lie is dead. And now that terror...
And he said a perfect statement. The world sees you now. The veil is off. Well, the scriptures tell you that the Lord was going to remove the face of the covering cast over all people. And you small hatters have utilized media, twisted doctrine to fit you being those people. And time again, as the time is going on, like you see that with these in those movies like Hunger Games, where it took somebody dying to see the issue with the higher ups. And that's what this whole October 7th stuff showed to the people, right? And now as time went on and you've been put on Front Street, everybody's seeing it, and everybody is making videos. And now everybody is making videos and exposés and snipping together you small hatters wickedness in the earth and showing why you're the problem, and it's on a grand scale, right? And now you small hats are fleeing into these European nations, in Greece, Portugal, Germany, South America. You're fleeing into these nations, and everywhere you devils are going, People got a problem with you because you've been a problem in the earth.
Children of Gaza are innocent.
I can see how children are terrorists as well.
You have a picnic here.
I can see how children are terrorists as well. This is these devils. Now listen to his logic.
A couple of kilometers away from Gaza, where the bombs are raining down.
These bombs,
How can you then say that you have a lot of sympathy?
as I've said, we really have no other choice.
Why do you want to live in Gaza?
I can't have as next door neighbors Nazis.
Are you talking about Hamas now, or are you talking about all the Palestinians there?
Okay, so we all know that's a big lie, and I'm a little bit insulted that you could still say that. So let's stop all that propaganda. All the children are Hamas, and they'll be very happy to see all of us burnt all over the world, and they'll destroy the whole world with that, the Christian world together with that. And
Are you blaming 2.2 million people for the wrongdoing of 3,500 people?
100%. Now let me explain why. Because they're accomplices to the crime, they're supportive of it, and they were part of it. And we just have to say again, it's not going to happen again.
You guys want to resettle Gaza?
For sure.
Okay. What about the 2.2 million Palestinians who live there? Where should they go?
Let's find some creative solution. We don't want them to die. And that's different from what they want.
You want them to be displaced?
You see? The world is watching this shit and seeing the hypocrisy and the wickedness.
We want them to be displaced, 100%.
Where should they go?
So let's work together. That's the dream.
But when you see the pictures from Gaza where large parts of the coastal strip is leveled to the ground, you think that's restraint? What more can you do to the Gaza Strip?
Want more? We want to finish the job.
You say
Work
you're
that.
not an extreme movement, but according to international law, what you're saying, you're calling for the ethnic cleansing, displacement of a
Okay.
people. That's against international law.
Okay.
That's
So
pretty
first-
extreme.
So we're not extreme. Ethnic cleansing is a very
It means the
laundered water.
forcibly displacement of a people from a geographical area. This is
one-
what you're calling.
Okay, so when people come, it was done in World War II. It was done many times and brought peace to the world.
You live in the occupied.
You see, it was done many times about peace of the world, but now that you small hatters are on the chocolate block, now you're gonna have a problem with it. I got a couple snippets from this video from Myron. Remember, I said fair use. I want to
No, it's legit.
get this. Now he's talking to one of these Israeli defense soldiers, 20-year-old nigga, and listen to the things he says. Right?
To like hate, you know?
Well, I mean, look, man, there's a bunch of reasons for
I
why.
think people be waiting for this, is what I'm saying.
It's not that people have been waiting for it. You know, the reality is that the reason why a lot of the world dislikes Jewish people, there's a multitude of different reasons why. But what I'm going to focus on right now is with October 7th is like, you guys had the opportunity to not go in, to get the hostages back. And what you guys could have done was you know, you got the Mossad, you got the Oman, you got, you know, Unit 8200. You guys have a very good intelligence community. You could have just went ahead and assassinated a lot of these Hamas leaders and just done it slowly. Now, of course, it might not be as good. You might not look optically as well, but I would argue that you guys actually hurt yourselves more internationally, optically, by invading Gaza and killing all the people that have been killed. Because you guys could have just done this surgically instead. You guys have the capability of doing it. We've seen it with Iran. So the invasion was a bad move.
As like someone who serves in Gaza, you know, where every time we go back to fight,
Say that again?
Where we go to fight,
Yeah.
like statistically, we go back to fight where there were buildings standing, like.
You see? And he's about to justify bombing all those buildings where people built up their lives in order to sit here and somehow have a better statistical fight against a threat. The world sees what these devils are doing, and now they're being brought into question. Right? So now they're being seen as the issue in earth.
But that story where people that worked for this organization that recovered the bodies and they got a bunch of donations, they made millions of dollars on this lie. And then Netanyahu ran with that lie.
We didn't bomb anyone.
I'm sorry?
We didn't bomb anyone. You got proof?
You didn't bomb anyone?
Yeah, we didn't bomb anyone. We didn't.
They didn't bomb anyone, but you got proof. There's literally media outlets devoted to international geopolitical news.
Kill anyone innocent.
Okay, that's a whole lot. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. I'm saying on October 7th, Hamas did a military operation, right? And they killed innocent Israelis. I'm not denying
Military
that.
operation.
Yes, it was a military operation, yes. Now,
Hamas is in the military. That's what you get. Well, that's why you're confused.
they're a militia.
Just listen to the hypocrisy in what he's saying, the self-justification. And Myron does a great job at briefly giving the history of how Israel's formation, the IDF, had the same thing.
They are the
No, they're fucking terrorist organization, dude.
Okay, so here's the thing, man. Some people might look at the IDF as a terrorist organization as well, right? So it depends on what you want to look at it as. By definition, IDF fits the terrorism definition as well, if we're going to be honest.
No, it isn't, because Israel is a country and there is Israel Defense Forces. Now there is Gaza, and Hamas isn't.
They were elected.
Anything
They
related to
were democratically elected.
No, I don't think so. You know that shit is.
They were. They
You
were
know that shit
democratically
is
elected.
fucking corrupted, and you know that, brother.
Well, Israel's corrupt too, if we're going to use that logic. I mean, the IDF comes from the
Israel
Irgun,
corrupted.
Haganah, and the Stern Gang. Those were all paramilitary organizations, just like Hamas, that were terrorist organizations. The IDF was created through terrorism, if we're going to go down this road. Hey, man.
Okay, so it wasn't created to defend Israel.
Yeah, the IDF came from Irgun, Haganah, Stern Gang, all terrorist organizations.
What is Hamas defending
Was that?
on that day? What was Hamas defending on that day?
Well, there's a multiple reasons why they invaded on that day. Again,
When they're met with the truth of their existence, they backpedal, they try to run from it. And at the end of the day, we're coming to the time where the whole world is queuing up. Who's the fucking problem? This is Wisdom of Solomon in the 2nd chapter. I'll start at the first verse and then jump down. Wisdom of Solomon 2:1, it says, "For the ungodly said," this is the context. This is the reasoning and the thought process of the ungodly, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. You see, every thought that they had wasn't correct. Our life is short and tedious, and in the death of a man there is no remedy. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Now I'm going to jump down to the point. This is verse 12. It says, I'll start at 11. It says, "Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth." And this is what these devils are. Might is right. This is why I did a lesson not too long ago where you had, here it is, where you had Itmar Ben Griv, which I believe he's the Security Council for Israel, sit there getting an argument with somebody, and he said, "Why did you provoke Iran?" He responds, "We didn't realize the power of Iran's missile capabilities." You see, these devils are used to fighting battles where they know they're going to win. They pick on the weak. And now we're in a time now where the world sees how they do it. And just like it is, it's might is right. So since they weren't able to sit here and process themselves as being the strongest in the situation, now everybody in their nation got a problem. So there's internal conflict as well. So let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. And this is him getting ready to persecute the elect, right? The Israelites. It says he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending of the law. And we go into their Talmud and show you how what they do and what they practice is wicked. Look up what a mezitza is, when they suck the blood after they do circumcision on a male child, an infant. They're sucking the blood from his penis, and that's a practice within Judaism, so-called Judaism, right? Through the Talmud, that's where they get it. And then when you go through the Talmud, all the things that they have as laws in the Talmud are directly against the scriptures. These ain't the people. And the world is figuring out and questioning the legitimacy of these people being Israelites, being Jews, and objective to our infamy. And when you look up this word infamy, right? You look at this word infamy, it says public disgrace, dishonor, evil fame, dishonor, infamous person, ill fame, bad repute, dishonor, disreputable, notorious, of ill fame. And this is what we do. We objected to his stance as being the moral people in the world, and we bring out that ill fame. It says the transgression of our education. And now the world is catching up. Remember, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, all things shall be established. Now, the scriptures witness against this devil. The Israelites have witnessed against him. And now the world is catching up for that perfect condemnation that's going to come. Habakkuk 2. In 16, it says, thou art filled with shame for glory. And this is what's happened to Esau. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered, meaning the shame, the wickedness, right? The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's what's happening. At the time where they've curated this view of them being so great, now the whole world's popping up against them. And everywhere these devils go, they're labeled to be the worst terrorists. So why over there in Thailand, there were some small hatters there in Thailand, and the Thai people are very, very, very nice, very withdrawn. Right? They're not about getting rowdy, and somehow these small hatters got these people to get out their skin, and they stomping out these niggas in the street. Why? Because they're the problem in the earth. Everybody's seeing the wickedness of them. It says, for the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee, the spoils of beasts, which made them afraid because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. And you see, because of this, because of all the wickedness that you've done, the bombing of those Gazans, the people are figuring out that you own the lobbies in America, right? That you're doing all these unilateral strikes, pushing the world closer and closer to, WW3, which is prophecy, because you think you have some alternative means that you're going to get a goal out of it that nobody else is going to, benefit from. People see the greed of you devils, and they see how you're moving, and now you're coming into question. This is Isaiah 47, starting 1. It says, come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, talking about America. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstones, and grind mill. Uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg. Uncover thy thigh. Pass over the rivers, meaning expose. Expose. And it's going with the small hats, and it's also going to go with these Edomites in America, right? It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. See, the Lord has a response to this, but you're being uncovered. Your violence is being shown through the world, and everything is rising up against you. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. It says, let no man be deceived, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that's what the world is seeing. Not only do the Israelites see it, but the world is coming to see it. That not only you small hats, but you Edomites in general are the issue in the earth. Right? Are the issue in the earth. As more and more time goes by, they're going to see how Russia is also in the same bed with the small hatters. They're just on a different playing field. Right? This is Job 20 and 27. It says the heaven shall reveal his iniquity, right? And the earth shall rise up against him. And that's what we're seeing. His iniquity is being revealed first to the Israelites, right? The elect of them that are teaching. Then on the internet, right? Because the signal goes up in the atmosphere, comes back down into those optic lines, and is disseminated through the earth, right? Revealing his wickedness. And now the earth is rising up against him. And when you go to that word earth, it's aratazah, and it says what? Land, earth, as opposed to part, earth as opposed to heaven, earth inhabitants. So the inhabitants of the world are rising up against him. Everywhere he goes, he's being labeled as the issue. This is a beautiful time. And when you get a fugitive that's on the run, and now you start plashing his face on the TV and the news as, hey, this is a dangerous criminal, be on high alert. What does that fugitive usually do? It starts taking hostages, starts getting violent, right? And that's where we come into. So these devils are really about to come down on the Israelites, man. This is Sirach 10:31. It says, he that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And that's Jake. The so-called Negroes, Hispanic, and Native Americans, we're honored in poverty, right? Our culture, our vibe, our ability, right? At the lowest, this is what we can do, and people see it. And when you travel and they meet, so-called Negroes from the U.S. and elsewhere, going to these places, they notice the difference, right? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? So this devil has been had all these riches, all this wealth, and look what he's done to his perceived infamy. Look what he's done. So the world is coming against him, and we're about to see a crackdown because his fugitives is getting called out. But Lord willing, this is all edifying. I'm going to say, call halal. Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua by Shem Kakadash Shalom.